All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
BoJack Horseman, Season 2, Episode 6. The world building went into some interesting directions last episode that made me question things.
Hey, at least they addressed it in Season 2.
Yep.
Imagine if they didn't address that until, Season 5 or
Well,
something.
I'm more wondering if they address it again in Season 5 and take it deeper. How much deeper can they take it without just actually punching right through the fourth wall?
As many times as they want to explore the darker themes of this story.
Yep.
Let's continue on those. BoJack has someone living at his home.
That's true.
Who is kind of his girlfriend.
Yep.
Kinda.
And they haven't been in the show too much since they were introduced, so some more of that would be great.
And we also do seem to be having main plot line, side plot line, main plot line, side plot line pattern so far with Season 2. So that means we back on the main plot line a little bit.
I think that is what
But that
means.
was also a good episode to focus on and explore the character of Kelsey.
Yes.
The director.
And I almost feel
it feels
like
wrong to know her name.
Yeah, because we know, you just know that BoJack was not given first name basis privileges and just sort of assumes it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna call her director.
We've been weebified so much that we're just like, you just called her first name so casually.
No honorifics.
No honorifics. No son. No summer.
Oh my god. But yeah, we even got to know her daughter Irving. Yep.
Yeah, daughter Irving. Gender normative names are oppressive.
Yep. And we even got some additional focus on Diane as she's realizing, wait, I want to be cool.
I'm not old.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, Diane.
You are, and that's okay.
I am old too. You will be old someday as well.
I mean, I'm definitely getting old. I feel old.
Yeah, you're 2 years away from the beginning of old.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this.
Has this ever happened to you?
No. Whatever it is, it hasn't happened. Nothing has ever happened to me. Stop.
You certainly love a toasted bagel.
I would never say that. I have celiac disease.
Ding!
Oh!
Bagel's ready.
Oh, no.
But wait. Son of a hey!
No!
That bagel was too fast.
That's why PB Livin' presents the Bagel Catcher. You two are done. This company is more in the red than Carrie on prom night. So what you're saying is, we're just one great idea away from breaking even? No, you are out of money. I'm waiting for my agent. He'll be with me any moment. Mr. Peanut Butter is going back to work. He's probably just organizing all the amazing opportunities. I haven't heard from him in years.
Whoa.
So they've probably been piling up.
Oh,
shit.
Mr. Peanut Butter.
Well, I'm coming in. I hope you're... Oh my God. Ronnie, how'd you get that belt stuck around your neck and then caught on the filing cabinet, which made your pants fall down while you were researching pornography? Oh, I see what happened here.
Hey.
New food truck. We should go.
I'm in.
Hey, can I get some lunch money? It's pizza day today.
Sure thing, sport. Wait, where is it pizza day?
In my tummy?
Yeah, you have a beeper, but I don't. Now you can page me whenever you want.
Oh, that's sweet.
BoJack, I love it. And you're gonna love it too. There's all kinds of codes we can send each other. 000 is call me. And 123 is I miss you. And 80085 is boobs.
No autoerotic asphyxiation with that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Hold the elevator. Ooh, ow. God damn it. No, ow. Oh.
Coffee?
Rutabaga, this day already sucks.
Do you need the movie star speech?
No, I'll be okay. And how are you?
I gotta look at paint swatches for the new kitchen. I have to pick a shade that won't clash the splatter of blood for when I blow my brains out after talking to Katie about paint swatches all day. We do have fun.
Diane.
I wasn't stealing paper towels to fold up and use as dinner napkins. Why?
Here's a funny question for you. If Mr. Peanut Butter said, I love you, no I don't, would you need to talk about that later and figure out what he meant by that?
In this scenario, are Mr. Peanut Butter and I living in our house, or are we squatting in an abandoned Barnes & Noble burning books to keep warm as we struggle through our Dickensian-style poverty?
000. No
Call
idea
me.
what that means.
I think it means call me.
Ignore.
Good of you to join us eventually.
Sorry I'm late. I had the worst morning.
You know who had an even the worster morning? Ronnie Bonito. Because he's dead.
He is?
He decided to strangle the dirty dangle, and now that sweet chariot has come for to carry him home.
But also
to
to
recruit them to the Vigor roster. A Vigor agent is a vigorous agent.
Who do you want me to call? I have ins with a bunch of Bonito's clients, including all the major J's.
Oh, that's wonderful news. In the parallel universe in which you were on time today. In this reality, however, we're all good.
Mr.
You
Peanut
can
Butter.
wrap up the leftovers, though.
Yeah.
Mr. Peanut Butter?
Oh,
Jeff
Princess
Goldblum?
Carolyn, get
Yeah.
your shoe
Sam
fixed.
Jackson?
You look like a woman from an 80s deodorant commercial.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Yeah, hitting the pavement. This is how it happens for a guy like me.
Well,
Yep.
oh my god, it's actually gonna work.
Ew, liar. Why do you have to be on my shoe in front of this
Team
store?
players wanted.
Yeah.
Shoe. Store. Shoe store? Shoe store. Team players wanted. Oh, I'm such a good team.
You kinda are, actually.
Yeah.
We got one take, and now we gotta stop for the day.
What? No, why stop now? I'm just getting warmed up.
Union rules. We're done.
Hey.
Go home.
Go home? Why go home when we could extend this long day's journey into night?
You
I
know?
really needed this, BoJack.
Me too.
Yeah, man, this day's been really hard.
Yeah, everyone's having a
Ever since I
hard
heard
day.
About that agent who died from that blue-faced blast-off,
Blue-face blast-off?
the strokey chokey, the two-neck squeeze.
Oh,
I was a
shit.
hardcore gasper.
I can't believe you have so many names for
Yeah.
And now I can't stop thinking about it. I shouldn't even be alive right now, man, you know?
We don't need to talk about how you masturbate.
They say if you bite down on a lemon right at the point of climax, the lemon juice gives you the jolt you need to not pass out and die. But still, man, you just rolling the dice.
Fuck, yeah.
Owls are nocturnal.
I beeped you, BoJack.
Hey, about this morning.
It's fine.
Because when I
I
said that...
said it's fine. You don't love me. That's okay. I don't love you.
What?
Good night.
So last night when...
BoJack, it's not a big deal. You don't love me. I don't love you. We're having a good time. It's fine.
You can't just say, I don't love you to someone.
You said it to me.
Yeah, but that was different.
How is that different?
Because you do love me, right? Like, a little bit?
No.
Jessica Atkinson, come on down.
Mr. Peanut Butter?
Would you like to see what's in box number 1 or box number 2? Either way, it's a brand new pair of shoes.
I was thinking about you last night while Katie and I were locked in a fascinating debate about counter granite. And what if I told you I used to work Ron?
Everyone's got their
Bonito's desk, and I
stresses.
happened to know
Uh-huh.
that he had a client so hush hush it wasn't even on the master list. Beloved novelist J.D. Salinger. What?
The author of Catcher in the Rye and
Others?
Uh-huh.
Isn't he dead?
He's reclusive.
Hey,
Corduroy, what are you doing here?
I need a favor. Can you hold on to this for me?
Ew, is this your Bible?
Nope.
No.
It's his
It's my
bondage
choking
stuff.
off kit.
Wait, so you're saying if someone loves you, they don't want you to choke yourself while masturbating?
Yeah, it's really dangerous.
All right, I'll take it.
Thanks, BoJack.
Still don't understand why you need a kit, though. Can't you just use like a belt or a rope?
Oh, hello. I'm looking for...
Sorry, no looking allowed. This store is for customers only.
Okay, then. I would like to buy a bicycle. What would you recommend? One with a bell or...
All right, you got me. I don't know anything about bicycles. I'm J.D. Salinger, and I faked my own death.
Look, I'm an agent. It doesn't matter whether I've read your work. What matters is I can look you in the eye and tell you I'm a big fan. The world is ready for your comeback, and I want to help.
Nope, thank you, not interested. Did that before, it didn't work out very well. The fans were relentless, the critics were cruel, and that's why my motto is, it's better to be alone.
What if I told you there was a place where no one reads books?
I'm listening.
A place where people only read headlines, lists, and pictures.
Yeah.
A place where people hate reading so
Yeah.
much they hire others to do it for them. And
Yeah.
don't even pay a living wage.
Damn.
Like modern reading slaves?
That's our society.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh. Hey,
Hey.
we need to talk. You're probably wondering what this beautiful mahogany box is.
Oh,
Doing that.
It's
no.
my autoerotic asphyxiation kit. I've decided to do the funky Spider-Man. Now, if you love me, you probably wouldn't want me to do it.
Okay.
What the fuck? That's...
Since you don't love me, I should do it, right? I mean, there's no reason not to. Unless you love me.
Oh my god.
Have fun.
I'm serious. I'm really gonna do it.
This has so many connotations to it.
Stop fighting!
Yeah!
Don't you two see what this is doing to me?
Ah!
I'm acting out.
Have a great day.
I appreciate the effort, Todd.
Just
Wow.
cool, Todd. No,
He is such a
no,
kid. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm looking for something that will hold up a lot of weight. Let's say something that could hoist up a horse comfortably by the neck. Not for suicide purposes.
I want to do a show where people ask celebrities trivia questions.
What? Like a game show?
Yeah, you know, because since they're famous people, I think normal people would want to see if they know trivia and stuff. You know, like Hollywood stars and celebrities. What do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out.
What a hoot! I love it.
Ha! And because they're both out of touch and out of time.
Would you like to buy a towel? Because I'm throwing one in for free.
He's perfect.
Mr. Peanut Butter, how would you like to be the host of J.D. Salinger's new celebrity game show?
What? I knew Destiny had a plan for me.
I'll give you 2 hints. Catcher and rye.
Ah, nothing.
Charlie Witherspoon caught a rye bagel coming out of the toaster.
Come again?
It was coming fast and hot.
Wow.
Hey, wasn't sure if I'd see you.
Still
Oh my
alive
god.
Because autoerotic asphyxiation is so risky? Well, here I am for now.
BoJack. Wait, did you fix the bed?
And I figured I might as well get the stuff for the bed, too. So you could at least get a good night's sleep.
Okay. BoJack, do you want to talk about the elephant in the room?
Wow. Okay. You know what? You know what? Here's, first of all, wow. Wow.
Yes, wow.
Just need to release this lever, drop these bags of sand, which act as counterweights, and then just pull this nozzle.
Okay, have fun.
Wait, Wanda.
Okay, fine, you stupid baby. I love you.
I knew it.
But I'm not going to tell you not to do the funky Spider-Man. You need to be responsible for yourself.
That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
I know, but if you love me too, you won't do it.
Yeah.
She know you did.
Yeah.
Okay, just for the record, I never really wanted to do this in the first place, so me not doing it is not a sign that I love you. It's just because I'm a coward.
Okay.
I love you.
Sure you don't.
I don't. Come back here. I don't love you. You don't make me feel less broken.
Alright, at this point, it's now reached tsundere levels of pain.
yeah.
But the show is kind of stupid.
Do you need the movie star speech?
I do, yeah.
Carolyn, you are the star of a movie. And this is the part of the movie where you get your heart broken. Where the world tests you and people treat you like shit.
Oh.
But it has to happen this way.
Whoa.
Otherwise, the end of the movie, when you get everything you want, won't feel as rewarding.
Whoa.
Okay.
All this time, the movie's been about you.
Thanks.
Carolyn,
Yes, Rutabaga?
I think Katie and I are getting a divorce.
Katie was his wife the whole time?
I don't want this thing anymore. Corduroy? Hey, you decent, man? Oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that coming, yeah. Saw that coming, yeah. All right, we're dealing with this kind of episode. We're going to be talking about unaliving yourself a lot. So just fair warning, this is a discussion that's going to be pretty dark and potential trigger warnings. So just take care of yourself, love yourself.
All that stuff.
We love you.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Because
careful,
after all, if you need to talk about that topic, the way to cover up for it is with masturbation. You know?
That's hilarious. That's honestly the best joke of this whole episode, is the idea that, yes, autoerotic asphyxiation, as someone that's never tried it, but might know someone that has, it's apparently pretty fucking awesome. Like, it gives you pretty nuts orgasms. It is not something that you have to go all out with in order to get a better orgasm.
I am
that is
sure
something that they almost honed in too much on.
Yes,
here.
I imagine that Yeah, I imagine that the community that enjoys that rees when they watch this episode because they're like, no, that's not how it...
It's not that dangerous.
It's not that dangerous. That's not how it works. No, you don't... No, you don't use a fucking noose, you know? Right, like...
Yeah, I don't know the exact way in which it's done outside of just the obvious air restriction. But yeah, that is something that actually does work. There's a bunch of different things that people will do during the point of climax to heighten the orgasm that are not even necessarily with regards to something that is life-threatening, but like just other kinds of things to, spice it up. That makes sense.
I loved how they made it
wild.
They made it so obvious that was just the like the Control F replace, term for suicide, that they said autoerotic asphyxiate myself. That's what the auto is. Right? So, and of course it makes sense that BoJack would say something like that, right? Like, so I love that.
It is so funny that, like, from a writing perspective, you have so many meta things going on here. BoJack has many things about him that I would say put him as a one who is potentially suicide prone. Like many things, many things about him. He's very clearly like this far away from being an addict to many different things. He has
even that's generous.
That's generous. Right. Like in some ways, he might already be an addict. You know, we just
addiction is his like base state for so many of these things.
Right.
It's just
we've had many different things go wrong in his life in terms of like abuse, in terms of trauma, in terms of all these kinds of things where it's something where he should probably not just be having therapy and a whole bunch of other things, but
absolutely
he should be regularly talking to just somebody, not even necessarily a professional. Just somebody.
Right. Have the professional for all the things that require professional help, and then also, be talking to like regular people about his feelings. But that's where
we can see him slowly, make progress.
Like growing and making progress, and Wanda really is good for him and all that stuff. And and I love that she doesn't buy into his shit.
Right. She's older.
Yeah, right. Even though she was in a coma, so
Yeah, but maturity wise, like in a lot of ways, there's a lot of things about her that even though she's out of touch with celebrity culture, and of course, she time skipped those years basically. There's a lot of things of where she's like, no, I have pretty good boundaries about this kind of thing. I want to talk to you about this stuff. Oh, you're not gonna talk to me about it. Okay, well then I guess I don't love you.
Right.
Because I can basically set a very clear, like, no, I rescind my thing as well because, I want to keep myself safe. And that's something that's just good. I think that the very clear thing that she represented in this episode is how a lot of the people in this story need to set good boundaries. There's a lot of things that they're basically having to deal with because of either choices or a whole bunch of other things in their environment that they're not shifting their environment or, changing in their environment as much as they can that are causing them tons of stress, lots of issues and stuff like that. So everyone in this episode is dealing with some kind of dumb shit.
Yeah.
But for the most part, rather than addressing the underlying concern, most of the characters are kind of running away, like kind of doing what they can rather than setting proper boundaries and stuff. They're just so can't deal with that now.
Yeah, Mr. Peanut Butter being like, I'm not actually going to look for an agent. I'm just going to, go out there and, let the universe do its thing. Which, on the one hand, I love the joke of it being something where it's like, yes, back when you were getting started.
Yes.
It was a lot easier in Hollywood, maybe. And so,
or just you were younger.
Yeah, and you were younger and things like that.
So you were probably easy prey for people that were actually looking for just are you like, barely above 18 and, looking for acting gigs here?
Yeah.
Hey, you're semi-attractive, Mr. Peanut Butter. Come work for me,
Yeah, exactly. And so now he goes and tries to get work and he's out of touch, but then also the idea of it being denial because Mr. Peanut Butter doesn't really like uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is great build up for the idea of Diane, like second guessing things and being like, okay, do I go and do a thing with the rich billionaire that's doing stuff that feels like it would be like personally fulfilling. And if you're in LA and you've got that big house, yeah, Diane's job probably brought in good money, but not LA big house kind of money.
Not LA big house kind of money, and also she's not like in a job right now, really. She's kind of working at the Secretariat set as a
it's not a
character
big paying
consultant.
Job. Yep, and
so
she's
I'm
also
assuming
too
that
sensible.
pays like nothing.
Yeah, and I'm guessing she's too sensible to, even if she did have some nest egg or whatever, to be like, okay, we're gonna start.
She's not gonna
setting that on
She's
fire.
not going to tap into that, and
order
Mr.
to-
Peanut Butter is wasting
exactly.
money. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say that she probably made a decent amount of money from the BoJack Horseman book, but she is not probably going to delve into that just to solve Mr. Peanut Butter's irreverent spending issues.
Yeah. So that I thought was fun. The idea that, like, even though the subject matter of the episode with regards to BoJack was very dark, I feel like they managed to handle the using it as a joke, very well. And I feel like most of that comes from actually Wanda, because the whole thing at the end of BoJack being like, I'm gonna leverage this to try and get her to say that she loves me. The fact that it so didn't work on Wanda, I feel like, is what kept this episode from being too uncomfortable for me.
Yes.
And then even when it's like, okay, yes, you're actually doing it. Okay, sure, you get what you want, and I say that I love you. But then she immediately turns it back around using the exact same logic, where it's and if you love me, you won't do this. You wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's and BoJack can't really argue with that, because the real issue is not whether or not she loves BoJack or whether or not BoJack loves her, but him being comfortable around the idea of love, because that means he can get hurt again.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's used to, and so he self-sabotages and does all of these things, right? And so now that he said that he loved her when he wasn't meaning to, right? There was an aspect of it where it's I wouldn't have chosen for that to happen, right? Because now suddenly I feel all vulnerable and stuff, and I don't like that. Okay, I need to basically take control back and, oh, no, I actually don't, and then, oh, wait, no, but I already said that, so I am vulnerable, and now I need to make sure that she says the same thing, because otherwise I can't take more rejection, because holy shit, my parents were enough of that, and...
But isn't it, like, crazy that they fully went in on the, very real and dark thing of, oh, if you love me, you won't let me hurt myself, abuse myself, treat myself horribly.
Yep, and
wow,
her response to that was just, no, I won't stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's your decision.
Right.
I do love you, though.
Right. There are actual real, like, situations, and it's very, this is the part that probably made me the most uncomfortable in the episode, and that's why I want to bring it up quickly, is that there are actual situations where people will be in a relationship with somebody and use the they will literally use what BoJack was doing here as a joke, and they will literally manipulate people into doing shit for whatever their reasons are, because it's the look at how I'm so there are many ways that they do it. I don't want to go into it, but like that there's ways that people will do that kind of fucked up stuff to themselves and then be like, this is your fault. This is your fault.
Hopefully this would go without saying, but PSA, if anyone were to do anything like what happened here with BoJack, get as far away from that person as you can.
I know. Just to use this specific example, then, because I don't want to bring up other ones.
Sure.
In some ways, potentially more graphic. I know women specifically that have had many stories, like many women who've had stories of the guy has basically said, "I'm thinking of unaliving myself if you don't,
Right.
And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
That's all kinds of fucked.
That is so messed up.
Yeah.
And I am sorry. I have a lot of love for people, but that is not oh, my sympathies. No,
That's emotional abuse.
That is abuse.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
is disgusting.
It's abuse. Their health, not just their life, their health is not your responsibility. And 3, it is not something you're equipped for. Even if all of those other things were true, which they're not.
Right.
It is not something that you're equipped for. That's something for a professional to take care of, and not even take care of, but for them to talk with and hopefully give them a path out of that, or to get them to actually decide for themselves what they're going to do. Are you going to unalive yourself? Are you going to autoerotic asphyxiate yourself? Or are you going to do something else? What are you actually going to do? Because,
this episode was uncomfortable, but the fact that, well, they didn't dramatically focus on a lot of it, but also, even though the joke was to set up the final choke at the end, which was, blatantly obvious.
Right.
I didn't want to make that into some kind of a joke, because it's Hollywood in this instance here is a shit place.
Yeah.
And I loved the way that Carolyn just went on the monologue rant about, do you want to know about this place? This wonderful magic place where the people don't like reading, and she goes into all this other stuff there. I was like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But that was such a cold, like, kind of splash of water in the episode of where they were hitting us with a specific dose of reality with the way in which people deal with just really stressful and tough shit that does lead to
all kinds of things.
Yeah, autoerotic asphyxiation. Yeah.
Or divorce in the case of what's his name? Yeah.
Right. Rutabaga. But the way in which people in general are also slowly moving away from the things that make life enjoyable for the pursuit of something like fame, money, or all this stuff. This whole black tar pit of stuff that's just pulling people in. This episode feels on a meta level apropos for the series as a whole. It feels like the story is literally bringing up hey, look, we make jokes now, but BoJack actually has the means now to actually unalive himself. Like, that's something where we are joking about it, but he now has a little kit here.
Well, I mean, I think that's the dark thing about the other guy, I forget his name, that unalived himself at the end, is that if you think you need a special tool to do it, you don't. That's the scary shit, when you realize that, like, it's literally everywhere, right? So
for the people that are prone, you need to have someone that's talking to them, because it will be a season of their life where they're like this. And I don't want to say it's easy to get out of this, but it's one where I've seen people be in that state for like months, and then they get out of it and they never go back. Like, there's many people I know who have been in that situation where they go through a lot of shit, they go through a lot of problems, they go through a lot of stuff, and then they're in that space and they have people that are constantly around them, that they're, sleeping next to, that they're basically in like a lot of proximity to people, and it's a really tough time. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of tears, but then at the end of it, it can be done, it can be fixed, it can be saved.
There's no one size fits all situation, and that's why a professional is so important, because even if some of the things that the professional might say are things that like a close friend might have the sensibilities to say, but they won't always, right? And with something that with the stakes that high, you don't want to mess around, right?
No.
And you also don't want to have your loved ones need to be the ones that have to like they will absolutely help you carry that burden.
But they're limited people.
But they're limited people, and so with regards to the actual like going through and digging into the soil and figuring out what to do, get somebody that has a lot of experience to help you out with that.
Get a lot of different people.
Yeah, sure, get a lot of different
people.
Don't
put all your eggs in one basket.
But if you're working with a pro, then they've seen a lot of they've got a tool belt. They've seen a lot of different situations, so they can try and help you figure out what exactly
works for you.
Is the thing that'll work for you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so that, yeah.
I also, just bring up the tool belt kind of thing. I love the pager couple gift that ends up being a source of stress when the person says, "Oh, you'll love it," and it's the, "Hi, I do this because I love you," which is a cool little thing of BoJack kind of being like, "Yeah, I do love her. It led to the, I love you," but it's also a funny thing that because of it then switching the context, suddenly this thing that was a source of, a representation that they love each other, that they're so connected, then became a source of stress. So it's another really clever bit of writing of where the situation that you're in can have all these elements that are the reminder of your connection, of your love. But once the context switch and you begin to doubt the love, you begin to doubt the connection, and all these things start to basically fray in terms of your perception or your cognition of them, then they become a reminder of that pain, of that source point of stress.
Yeah, because if you've spent so much time with a person and you've had, like, because life is a learning experience, right? And if you spent so much time with a person that the mess ups are more with this person than with other people, right? Because you spend the most time with them, right?
Okay.
Then that can be something where then that bleeds into like your perceptions of your time with them. And I think the Rutabaga's whole situation with Katie is a great example of that. He's able to have like he's able to give Princess Carolyn like this awesome pep talk, right? Even if it is a very egocentric kind of pep talk, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But then afterwards, it's I think Katie and I are getting a divorce. Yeah.
He needs someone to talk to, basically.
He needs someone to talk to, but also, when you were saying that, like, us looking at the, color swatches for, like, for the paint for this area of the house, it needs to be blood red because I'm going to blow my fucking brains out. Maybe that's a sign that maybe you shouldn't be around that person too much, but
the conversation with Rutabaga and Carolyn was really interesting because I will say that one of the things about Carolyn that is her, I would say, fatal flaw that makes her very similar to BoJack in a lot of ways is she's so confident but competent in her specific area. She shows a lot of, in my opinion, signs of narcissism, which is what made her and BoJack so good in their dysfunction together. Is that they just kind of understood and accepted that each of them were the worst for each other and thus the best for each other,
Sure.
But when he gives her the movie star speech, it's basically a good example of a speech, not really a speech, but a pep talk that I've had kind of examples of, where basically it's hey, in life there are seasons. There are going to be seasons where it gets cold. There's going to be seasons where it gets warm. But who you are is not necessarily the seasons. Yeah. There's going to be things that happen in your environment, but who you are is independent of that. And as long as you're, capable of weathering the seasons, basically, you're going to be okay. This too shall pass. Not all of this is permanent. But the speech kind of takes a specific turn in that it's the kind of a meta thing, basically saying it has to happen this way. It gets into that peanut butter fate kind of stuff here, where it's otherwise the end of the movie where you get everything you want won't feel as rewarding.
Right. Shadow proves the sunshine, but also focusing on you'll get everything as you want.
Right.
Everything you want. Yeah.
Which is I don't think that's a healthy message, but also then the movie's not about them. It's never been about them. All this time, this movie's been about you. There's a part of that's true in that everyone has their own story, and you don't need to focus on other people's story. Focus on you, work on you, and take care of you so that you can then be full enough to then help other people. You don't need to be in a full place to be worthy to help other people, but it's going to make it easier. It's going to make it just...
And you don't even need to have that be the objective.
No.
I need to take care of myself so that I can help other people. It's just I'm going to take care of myself.
It's just helpful. So that's good. Yeah. But the idea that she knew what this is, it's kind of I would say a little bit of that reminder of that Hollywood, we're going to have everything work here because this is destiny and fate, and I am the kind of person that's just going to have this all work out. It's the, well, no, in some ways.
Blow up the ego so that way you'll keep moving, so that you'll do the things that you need to do in order to hopefully have things work out, right?
Right.
Because if, the battle's won in the mind, right? If you give up, then it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You've given up, right?
Right. So giving up is worse than being in a situation where you're quite egocentric.
Right, exactly. But the egocentric part also is the thing that makes it so that when you have failures in that area, it hits you harder because you have your ego wrapped up in it, as opposed to, say, if it's the whole thing with BoJack's needing for approval and a bunch of things with the different characters in this show, right? Like Mr. Peanut Butter, if he didn't need to be the center of attention, he would not get a lot of the work that he gets.
Right.
But well, granted, he's so positive all the time, maybe it doesn't apply as much to him with what we've seen, but
but the lesson I think that we can learn here with this is that if you put your worth, your self-worth, your value into something in your environment,
then it's not in your control.
Well, it's not under your control, but it also means that when it goes absolutely to shit, you will go to absolute shit. A great example of this is a sports player that breaks a leg. Suddenly, they can't do their sport anymore that they put their entire identity into, and they are inconsolable. They absolutely go into the pits there. Obviously, they're unhappy. That totally makes sense. But if you're going to derive your life's worth from a relationship, BoJack, from the way that other people view you and see you, all these little things, yes, it's very easy to go down a dark path there because you are then completely subjected to the whims of your environment and those things. So while it's very hard to kind of get to this place, because I don't think any of us are fully, truly there for a long period of time, I think we end up in seasons, again, where we actually do put our identity in something that is independent from the environment. Our identity comes from something, internal. You can actually be in a really good place and not have shit basically going on around you and be okay. So yeah, that's just my big thing I got from this, is something that reminds me a lot of my personal journey, in that learning to take your identity out of the things that are in your environment. I think it's something where you can definitely have attachment to those things. This isn't a life of, complete detachment and full Buddhist monk, kind of
maybe using
empty your mind kind of thing.
But a healthier example of it in the show, Diane. So Diane is not being fulfilled by her work right now.
Right
now, that's something to very much address and work on, and try and be in a situation where the work that you're doing is fulfilling, right? Because why would you not want that? But then there's also the aspect of, okay, well, but you are not your work, so how can you make it so that you lead a life for yourself that is fulfilling, regardless of what you're doing during the day?
Well said.
Now, you want to get it so that the thing that you're doing during the day is bringing you fulfillment,
that
right?
makes it just everything much easier.
Right, why wouldn't you want that? But you don't want to have to need that.
Because you aren't going to have it every single time, and
exactly.
That's why
you're going to have times where you're doing the BoJack book or the Secretariat book or whatever, and times where you're telling people to watch out for a cable.
Right, and the fact that Carolyn in some ways needs to be told that the movie is all about her, that all these things are going to go her way eventually, is, I would say in some ways, the opposite of putting up boundaries. It's the hold tighter to the idea that eventually the movie is going to swing around because I'm the main character, and it's well intentioned. It just
and the reason the point where I think it does work to an extent is because obviously during your life you're going to be trying to make your own situation better.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
So, trying to get yourself the things that you want, right? And so the idea that eventually, it's used, superlative language is used of everything will go the way you want, right? But there will be times where you'll be getting those higher die rolls, right? You're actually able to get the things that you want. It's going pretty well. And you appreciate those moments because of the bad moments, right?
Because of their scarcity, The
shadow proves the sunshine. If you didn't have the struggle, then you wouldn't care about it, right?
Yep.
And that's and And I think that's something that people understand on a pretty fundamental level.
Yes.
Or at the very least,
most people do.
Princess Carolyn absolutely understands it because
Yes.
that's why she can give herself that ego boost of, fuck yeah, I brought someone back from the dead. I made a
Yes.
shoe employee, you know, a game show host, right? Like, I am awesome. I did an awesome.
She wants recognition, which is something that is, oh my God, that's so many people just need a little bit more recognition in their life, just to be seen more.
Well, I mean,
and
yeah,
that was the whole thing of the
that's
joke
almost
that-
BoJack's whole story, right?
Right, totally. And Rutabaga kind of addresses that in the beginning of the episode of, hey, I see you being a mess with the gravy on there. And she's like, aw. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not about having everything or having all your life basically be completely perfect and working together, because that's maybe never going to happen. But it is in the midst of shit, in the midst of all this stuff, being seen, being recognized, being accepted, being connected.
Yeah.
That's the human desire right there.
And that's where the biggest punching bag in this respect in the show is Todd.
Todd, yep.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why it breaks my heart whenever he has like that awesome, you know, side adventure thing or whatever, and then he goes back to BoJack, and then BoJack just pulls him back
in his
down.
face. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly.
Shut up, Todd. The adults are talking.
Yep.
Why are you guys fighting like this? I'm acting up.
Yeah.
God, I love Todd. I love him so much.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're done with the fucking spending money thing. They're like, all right, this plot line's been...
And yet somebody was...
I know.
The joke of like, no, there was actually one of your dumb ideas that's still a dumb idea. But there are dumb people out there that
There
need
are
a dumb
dumber
idea.
people out
right?
there
You know,
that
like
might want that.
You never know what people might need.
That's very true.
Like,
that's very true.
Why is it important to be able to catch a bagel?
We must
out
not
of the
eat toasted
toaster?
bagels.
And like, why would somebody throw something out of the toaster? Maybe because it's hot, you know, right? Like, is there some way in which this logic kind of makes sense? And it's like,
okay, so there actually is, I think, some toasters where when it pops up, there will be a inner mechanism of the toaster's metal part
like,
that
flings it
comes
into
up
the air.
with it. No, it's like a catching thing that literally is like a slot that comes up. So that it has resistance on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is above the actual length of the toaster. So toaster's here, right?
Oh, gotcha.
And then there's a metal slot mechanism that comes up with it. Here.
Gotcha.
I've seen toasters like that. So I think the funny thing is that, yes, that is a thing that probably got invented at some point, and it's a specific type of toaster.
Right, to make sure that so that when the toast pops up, it doesn't fall out of the toaster or something like that.
Right, because I think there was a point back in the day where toasters would have inconsistent
like spring
strength. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And depending on how hard the toast was, like how how little it was,
or just how heavy it is. You know?
Sure, yeah.
Right, like you know, you get some flimsy like nothing bread, you toast it, and you put that thing into something that's expecting like some thick bread or whatever. No, that shit's going flying.
But I will tell you, in my many, somewhat young years of living, I've never seen toast or bagel, anything fly out of the toaster and like fall on the side or anything like that.
I think I've seen it a couple times because there were some points when our family would get like bread that was like
tiny.
It was like this big, the slices. It's like, okay, you have to have like 4 sandwiches to like be full. But and depending on the toaster that went in.
The Neolithic giant over here says, I needed 4 sandwiches to be full. I know, but still.
But anyways, this was a great episode.
Yeah, wonderful episode.
Ton of fun.
Yeah. And handled some pretty heavy subject matter quite well.
And it's important that they handle it before we actually get to wherever it's really actually being handled for BoJack. So
because it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. They've set it up so many ways and so many times with the drug trip, the painting. There's so many things.
And also when Wanda ends up leaving him or he leaves her or whatever, and this event, even though they were able to reconcile things at the end, that is absolutely a huge red flag that's being logged away. So,
I mean, remember how season 2 started? Secretariat jumping off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where this season's probably going to end.
Yeah. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about animated shows in general, and also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.